Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting and riveting and amazing, spectacular Propagandacast with me, your host, Imperial Dane. The one, the only master of propaganda. Your only sanctioned source of community entertainment. Your only light of goodness in this darkness. Yes, that came off perfectly. Off here to a 1v1 on Langraskaya in the north. It is Caosak fighting for the Wehrmacht, Germany, Deutschland. Here with the 11th SS Panzergrenadier Nordland with German infantry, Jaeger infantry, and assault support with Panzerfaust infantry machine guns. In the south it is Expensive Runner. Fighting for the Red Army, the Soviet Union, Commandant Stalin. Here with the 2nd Guards Mechanized Corps with Airborne troop tactics featuring airdrop weapons, paradrop heavy machine guns, airborne rally points, which no one ever uses, Guards Airborne troops, and the Sturmovik rocket run. And as always, a big hearty thanks to my Patreon supporters, these champions, these heroes of the Propagandacaster keeping the business. You too can join the ranks by pledging on Patreon, or you can donate by PayPal and support the worth it that way. Gain eternal glory and the great beyond. Links in the description. I'll leave a comment, like, share, subscribe, press the bell button, join the worth it against YouTube algorithms. Pushing straight for the eastern fuel point, everything for two in the contract there. Expense Runner looking to definitely put pressure on Caosak here. MD4 setting up here, but he's trying to set up, but obviously the attacking conscripts make this a bit tough here for Caosak. Additionally, the angle is set up more, so it becomes easy for Expense to get past here, at the edge there. We got a Pioneer Squad moving in, we've got another conscript moving this role here. Things are intensifying around the fuel point here between Caosak and Expense Runner. Of course, the car point is potentially open here for Expense Runner to go for, but no, Caosak quickly pushing back here, and the conscripts are not making a move forward, nor are the engineers. So, looks like Expense Runner's gambit to throw off Caosak's early game has very much hit a very large jackboot-shaped roadblock. 2nd Grenadier Squad here for Caosak. Third conscript there on the way for, well, has already in fact arrived here for Expensive Runner. Sees need some fuel point here. Pioneers ground the point there. 4th conscript for Expensive Runner, highly indicating he, of course, will be relying a lot on the airdrop weapons, equipping his men with the SVT-40 semi-automatic rifle, which, as a fun fact, the Soviet Army actually intended to equip all the men with before the war started, but they didn't, have enough time, and the overall resources weren't there, and they ultimately just switched over to trying to equip all the men with PPH-841s instead. But little fun fact there about the SVT-40. Additionally, the SVT-40 serves the bases for the G-43. Anyway, so finally here we got Expense Runner's men now being caught here in a crossfire between Caosak's forces. We got machine guns on one side, Grenadiers on the other. Plus Pioneers here, catching Expense Runners basically in a large kill zone here. And while it's not going to be the fastest kill zone, it is nonetheless a zone where his men are not going to be fighting efficient, because Caosak is holding all the valuable ground, his men are not, and they're just getting focused down there out in the open. I'm not entirely sure why Expense Runner is fighting this engagement. It's just costing him a lot of manpower while just giving all of Caosak's Grenadiers free target practice, which is typically not what you're looking to do as the Soviets. Flamethrowers up here though for Expense Runner engineers, catching the Grenadiers here from Caosak here by the west. Grenadiers being slowly roasted out in the open. And these conscripts going for the deep flank. Thumbs up to Expense Runner. Going to sneak up in the fuel pond that way. Force Caosak to respond to that. Very good. Samex here. Also very good. Creates more defensible terrain around here, which is good for Caosak in a longer engagement. Up north, the engineers pushing back the Grenadiers there. Flamethrowers here proving to be quite potent. Constant there remaining here. Perhaps Expense Runner is actually waiting for the right time. Say Caosak commits to a certain degree, hits point, and then he hits with the fuel pond there. That's actually pretty clever there by Expense Runner if that is the case. As for the 11th SS, it was one of the... well, it was the second attempt at a Scandinavian volunteer SS division. The first one was actually the Viking, but they actually, for some reason, I'm not entirely sure, made that a full Germanic one, kind of full Germanic. There's still some remnants of the Scandinavian troops in it, but switched over to the 11th SS, which was Panzer Grenadier Division, by the way, was actually fairly well equipped, with multiple battalions having armoured half-tracks, which is actually better than most Panzer divisions, and it also sort of put together itself a full Panther battalion, because they received a bunch of Panthers. They were meant to use as they shall say dug in, Panther tombs, but they actually got them working again. Pioneers right in the centre here, grab the eastern point with the conscripts. Can't quite yet begin dropping in his weapons. Caosak yet to choose a doctrine. Personally, I'm very much partial towards German infantry, but Jaeger infantry and assault support, good in their own way. Assault support opens out for the field officer, which is actually quite an overlooked unit, and the strafing run is actually also quite disruptive. But there you go, as you can see here, this forces Caosak to have to split towards either going for the fuel point to defend the centre, and he's actually going towards the fuel Worth noting, sandbags here, so we already got preparation ahead of time for Expense Runner. There's clearly been a lot of thought here from Expense Runner as to this engagement and just trying to bait Caosak into it. Very solid stuff there. Thumbs up. Caosak with the light mechanized company here. Also worth considering for Caosak is he's up against a very conservative build. In my opinion, this is where Panzer Grenadiers really shine, since they are really good against that. But we'll have to see if Caosak goes for that. You could also just go for German infantry. Stormtroopers would be quite good here, obviously, as well. But still, really good push by Expense Runner. Completely blindsided Caosak. Got the fuel point. And it's now calling a bit of witch there. We do get an armored car for Caosak to put pressure back onto Expense Runner, which of course makes sense. Molotov here. And baits the gunners right into it. Beautiful there by Expense Runner. Well, relatively beautiful. Depending, of course, on your perspective. Meanwhile, we got tech here for Expense Runner. 5 minutes, almost 6 minutes. Biggot's getting that already there. So he's clearly thinking ahead here again. Really good foresight by Expense Runner so far. Just operating on, I would almost say, several steps ahead of Caosak so far, which is just really beautiful play there. Light machine for Caosak, so probably not German infantry, more like the well, not Jaeger infantry. I mean, you could still go for the Jaeger command squad, but I'm guessing assault support might be more likely here for Caosak. And it could also be effective as a opponent again with a lot of transcript squads. So let's see, but he probably should make a doctoral choice soon, because a lot of these doctrines do tend to get something in fast early on. They can be quite helpful for the player in question. So I do think he needs to get something going there soon. As for right now, Expense Runner could try and go for the half track. He is a lot more likely to go for the T7. No, he does go for the half track. So guessing a quad mount there. Sniper for Caosak. Obviously want to be at the Soviets. Not entirely sure the sniper is the optimal choice here. Personally, oh, he's going for weapon drop. So Expense Runner's actually intending to mechanize his infantry. 2 thumbs up. Not that the Soviets really did that. I mean, the half-tracks they actually mostly run for logistical purposes because they couldn't really afford to use them for like closer combat infantry stuff there. That's kind of why they had the whole tank rider doctrine. They would use their tanks to ride along on. Sadly, Relic never managed to implement tank riding in companies too. They actually had a plan, I think, for the Western Front armies. They even had like some trailers showing it, but sadly they never got around to it, unfortunately. But then there's mechanized movement here for Expense Runner, supporting a push into the east. Very good. We do have some punish for sandbags, but no mines and nothing else there. Armored car coming to deal with it. Pushing westwards as well there. Caosak now starting to pressure more against Expense Runner. Very good. Half track slowly pushing ahead here. The M5, which was the main export model, shows here half tracks there for the Americans and the Lend-Lease program. Sniper caught out in the open, taking some nasty hits here. Then got progress in the west. Armored car looking to slow down Expense Runner a bit. He half track buzzing off. Back here, nothing further on there for Expense Runner. Pack 40 for Caosak. Obviously concerned about the possibility of the quad mount here, which could really do a lot of damage faster to Caosak. And of course, it may be that Expense Runner is playing that after all. Pushing for decent fuel point again. Caosak looks like he was not expecting that one again. He may honestly just want to lay down some S-mines there. Grenadiers on the move. Machine gun may also want to get in there as well. Quick hurrah there. Keeps the armored car at pace. Note he's splitting up his force again. The prepared sandbags at a time. He forming up a stronger position here for Expense Runner to grab and hold the fuel point with. Beautiful stuff there. Sis 3 Division field gun for Expense Runner. Western side, they got the fuel point grabbed here by Caosak's Grenadiers. Constantly being pushed back. Bit of lighter skirmishing here in the east, and we got the Pack 40 out there for Caosak. The Panzer looking on the field take. Half tech moving westwards here, assisting against the Grenadiers. We've got infantry up to back as well there. Very good. Sniping up with the armored car to flush out the conscripts. And then go full retreat here again. Oh, he is going for the quad man now. I mean, again, it's good. Part of me still is slightly disappointed, but you know. And I think the reason why Caosak refused so fast was in part just the possibility that Expense Runner was almost having that upgrade ready. And Caosak very sensibly, of course, is not going to try and like call Expense Runner's bluff on that one. I'm sorry about the hiccups. Another Grenadier squad for Caosak. Interesting choice there. No Panzer Grenadier and crucially, no Doctrine. Hold on the west here, continuing out about there. Looking to probe a bit here with the M5. Oh, the M17 now, technically. Pantherfast here. Pack 40 got the armored car ready, though. There you go. Pack 40 could take the half-track out. The armored car just remembers to fire its bloody autocannon. And close there, but the half-track does survive narrowly here. Really close call there for Expense Runner. Doing a great kill there for Caosak. Meanwhile, coming from the center. Got Manso there from Caosak. Thumbs up. West side, more pressure here. Grenades pushing back the knees there. Conscious assault there not working out well. We've got more breaching through MD4 dealing with at least part of the assault. Got additional light machine grenades joining in the fun. The half-track is slowly being hauled out of there. The engine is pretty much done. And we got a disc being airdropped here for Expensive Runner and the Red Army. Ground lesson point here. There's I'll say some guards airborne. I think a few there could be a pretty good addition here for Expensive Runner. As for Caosak, who has gone by for assault support there with the artillery field officer, Upper Blitz cargo truck, the strafing run, the fragmentation bomb, and of course the Tiger tank. Ground loss and victory point. Sniping out there for Caosak. Tech for him as well. So far the sniper's not really been doing a lot of killing for Caosak. You certainly has quite the front to manage at the moment here. Expense Runner being pushed back, but at the same time they could also be said to give an Expense Runner plenty of push like to make here against Caosak. Pushing 40, field bombarding, machine guns flying back though, and flank engines moving up. They've got more confident on the farther off flank here, and with Caosak having weighted most of his force towards the west, he can't easily respond. Half-time in as well, again he's being close to wiped out here. Pack 40 is also angled a bit awkwardly, MD40 being flanked out there. Really strong push here, charging head armored car moving in, Pack 40 nearby as well. Can he take up the half-track here? And the center troops falling back, disco suppressed here, half-track taking hits from the armored car, Pack 40 turning around, and we got the consort moving in. Meanwhile, pushing with some few-point Pack shoots, misses the half-track, a momentous blunder here that easily favors Expensive Runner's assault here. He can build this opponent court and definitely should. As for Expensive Runner, he can take up, but wouldn't be able to do much with it, except of course upgrade some of his conscripts to 7M status. Worth noting he has lost 8 culture score 2. Assault continues here, and the situation is definitely worsening here for Caosak. There's a bit of pressure, but I think we're going to use up here, pop them out of the building. We're up here and flank the dish cut. Sniper killing away there as well with 9 kills now. Half-Tech takes great here. Armored car could actually push in, try and finish it off here. Doesn't. Missed opportunity, I think, there by Caosak. I think training the armored car for the half-Tech would be worth it. But the grenades here definitely too passive. They should be threatening the flank here, Expensive Runner, the machine guns, the field guns, and definitely missed opportunity, I think, by Caosak. But it does. Oh, he should be focused on the field gun bar way as well. Just clear out the crew there. Finding around the curve point here, and the grenades just finally getting a move on here. More grenades there. Half-Track hits the telemine. And we got guards airborne here, though. For Caosak to ambush the sniper. Oh, yeah, Expensive Runner's guards airborne to ambush the sniper there. Beautiful setup, and the sniper is down. Brutally executed there. Good work there by Expense Runner, completely catching Caosak off guard. Definitely should have kept that in mind. The opposite should have as well, I suppose. Might be a reason he actually didn't pop them out there, but oh well, too late for that now. You can get the Spommel cop, then maybe rush out some armor here versus the Expense Runner, and, you know, you should consider a Pan's going to escort or the artillery field officer. Got more light machine guns instead. That said, great map control right now for Caosak, though. Despite the loss, he's actually managed to push back Expense Runner back to almost his base. He's controlling both fuel points. This is huge. He's getting 39 versus opponent's 13. That is 3 times as much fuel. And if you had the Ober Blitz out, just go say a fuel point, he'd be getting even more fuel. So definitely a bit of a tight situation. He's looking to go for the DP light machine guns rather than, you know, the PPSH 41 assault package. Got everything about here. Engaging the grenadiers there. Needs to another push forward here for Expense Runner, hitting Caosak's right flank. On the west side here, grenades being outmaneuvered. There you go, grenade off, and that's a wipe. Great there for Expense Runner, definitely paying for that for Caosak. He's building the Spommel core though, can soon go for the Panther 4. Guards airborne squad, they're almost executed, but looks like they will escape. In these, so the assault is completely pouring through the cracks here of Caosak's eastern front line. And by cracks, we mean a completely just arse crack of a front line that is wide open. Armor car pushing back the country in the west. Support core almost on there for Caosak, and the center machine being overwhelmed here. And white right some of those base boundaries. A stinging blow that's Caosak completely absolutely just pummeled into submission here by Expansion Runner. Brutal stuff. They need to get that Panther 4 out. Schnell armored car rushing in there. Pack 4 declared inside the base. Has a chance of taking out the armored car. Oh, he doesn't push for it with the armored car, and the machine gun will be hauled off to the base here of his opponent, and the field and finish off the armored car anyways. A complete disaster there for Caosak. He was looking so good, and just in a few matter of moments, Expansion Runner with a decisive counterattack tore apart Caosak here. That was just beautifully done there by Expansion Runner. Guards Airborne there reinforcing. Still shot munitions for the DP light machine guns. Honestly, at this point, I think you should just consider the PPH assault package there. Sniper again for Caosak. I really feel like he should be going for the officer of the Panzer going to use. Like some assault troops there, and particularly the officer with smoke screens and other elements would be very helpful there for Caosak. But I digress. Rifle grenade off here. Gunnies bring up there. Constable equipped with the light machine guns picked off dead Grenadier's hands. Great there for Expansion Runner. Just another stinging development there for Caosak. Just get there firing away. Panther 4 right around the corner, and there you go. Panzerkampfwagen 4 Gefechtsbereit here for Caosak and the 11th SS. Panzergrenadierdivision Nordland. Just get there firing away. 5 kills, close to veterans 1. Conflict fort there backed up by the Guards Airborne. Still no upgrades. Still no PPS-841 assault package. Quick grenade off against the Pioneers. Bait them into the grenade. Panther 4 has arrived. Sniper gets another kill here. We got 2 kills. But now most of the map there is in Soviet hands. That's it. It's 212 versus 140. Caosak going for more Grenadiers, reinforcing healing. But again, he would benefit, I think, from an officer or some Panzer Grenadier. He would also benefit more from going for someone as soon as they get some veterans out by now. Guards Airborne there, down to 3 men. Sniper keeps murdering away at them. Probably wearing very bright blue caps, doesn't, make it hard to find them. Dimitri, how did the sniper keep hitting us so easily? I do not know, Yuri. I do not know. I thought our lucky blue hats would protect us. Yes, it's a mystery. Maybe if they were more bright blue and bigger. You're correct, Dimitri. You'll get a medal for this. Troops reinforcing healing. Sniper landing some more kills there. Seizing back the eastern field, but still got the machine gun there. Guards moving forwards. Mechanized armor company up. Soon that'll mean T-34 from 66 Expansion Runner. Sniper though almost got wiped out by the Soviets. Guards pushing forwards, and there you go. Finally pushed back here by Caosak's Grenadier. Panther 4 shoots whiffs. Squad named Trouble. They want to move in the Panther 4 to deal with the Dishka there by the eastern fuel point. Also, mortar would be an excellent addition here for Caosak. But again, as always on a map like Langraskaya, mortars are great. So I'm surprised that neither side's really bothered with one. But in particular, Caosak right now would strongly benefit. In this case, the sandbags paying off here though, at least. Thumbs up to that. Dishka pushed out of the building over the Panther 4. Could actually now threaten to flank around the center and leave the Expansion Runner quite exposed. Now moving up as well. We got 9 kills there. Another MD42 for Caosak. Expansion Runner's base there a bit quiet as he's obviously focused on getting out some tanks to counter Caosak's Panzerwaffe. They should just get that bit going, but I've said that too many times by now already. But again, nice foresight here going with these sandbags from Caosak. Thumbs up, similar to the sandbags over here. Well played sandbagging can in many engagements give you a significant tactical advantage. Can go for the T-34 now, there we go. MD4 almost done here for Caosak. There we go. And another Grenadier squad here for Caosak. No Panzer Grenadier, no officer, and of course no mortar. Definitely feel like he would benefit from some of those rather than just more Grenadiers into the meat grinder. West ground, western point there. And these Grenadiers see it about to get engaged by the Dishka, though it's going to attack head on into like an open position. That's going to be great for the Grenadiers, particularly with the Rough Grenade. I mean, they're so bunched up, the Rough Grenade would be absolutely bananas. Even if they get suppressed at this range, it's still. Oh, he missed. That was a bit awkward there, actually. Mines up here, good spot for mine by there for Expansion Runner. T-34 out here. Caosak can soon go for another Panther 4, though he could also consider an Osprey just to help deal with infantry. Since while the Austrians are obviously a little less flexible, it is, in terms of performance, much more consistent than the Panzer IV. So that is something to perhaps consider there for Caosak. But I imagine we're just going to see more Panzer IVs, which again is, quite fine. Guards Airborne there, very close to the triple DP light machine guns here though. Very close. So now he can finally upgrade it with that, if he wants to. Flank once more exposed. No munitions for the DPs now. You may want to consider some more ice on the flank. Panzer IV rushing in there. Seeing fully retreated. It's now over there, helping in the centre, filling up as well there. Panzer IV taking some damage. Going to be starting front of the anti-tank grenade wielding conscripts. Shoot. Shot from the Panzer IV bounces. Pack 40 again outmaneuvered. Panzer IV down to low health. Field gun there. Trouble gun is trying to deal with it. They're getting suppressed by another machine. The west here, Pioneers. Gatling Engineers. Panzer IV's about to get knocked out here. T-54's low on health. Gun is doing what they can. It's now retreating. Gun is still suppressed, but they're slowly moving in. Quite a messy situation here for Caosak, but looks like he narrowly gets out of it though. There's the slightly bigger issue that the Pack 40 could theoretically fall into the hands of Expense Runner, but no, he just destroys it. Not the ideal either, but certainly better for Caosak. Then Expense Runner runs off with it. Panzer IV now in tiny repairs, but he's also close to another Panzer IV here. That's his Expense Runner. Give a shake for the sniper there. Panzer IV gets a good hit. Close fetch on that sniper. Whew. Almost got wiped by the field gun. That would have been a fairly depressing moment there for Caosak. Also worth noting, while he has gone for assault support, he's yet to find room for it again. For some reason, again, he continues not to use the officer. The old Blitz ob's not seen much room, but there's nothing to say about, like, munitions saved up for a bit of strafing support, which could, prove to be helpful at certain engagements here. Could, for example, be great to shutting down some Expense Runner's attacks. But that said, he's very close to that Panzer IV. Very close to the second Panzer IV, though admittedly Expense Runner's not far away from another T-34. Hitting the field point there to try and slow down his socialist opponents. Fuel income, I think is a very sensible idea there for for Caosak. For Expense Runner, that is obviously a bit of a nuisance. We got Fin 17s on 81. Caosak still continues to have a significant lead in terms of victory points over Expense Runner, though for how much one can maintain that, of course, is another matter entirely. Panzer pushing forward, shoots and misses. Guard pushing forward, so still no upgrades on them. Gun is in fact about to get wiped out though. Another hit from the T-54 on the Panzer IV. Need to repair that one up. Again, second Panzer IV is almost around the corner. May actually want to consider another Pioneer Squad to speed up the repairs. In fact, he should go for another Pioneer Squad to speed up the repairs, but he wants to get out any more than one tank. You really need two Pioneer Squads to keep it going at any decent pace. "20 kills here. Keep moving forward, trying to snipe that sniper again. Second Panzerkampfwagen though has arrived here for Caosak and for Deutschland. Got Western Point there. Need to repair that tank though. Panzer on the right flank to cover that up a bit here. Expense Runner still not calling any more armour. And he still hasn't surprised the Guards Airborne either. That one is probably the biggest surprise that he hasn't just upgraded it. But are they just the triple DPs or with the submachine guns, the assault package there? I'm curious as to why. I mean, it could be distinction over the SD4 to the fairly decent. I mean, so far they are doing a good amount of damage. It's not like they're terrible without it. It would be better. So curious to see that. Anyways, another T-54 there. Of course, it is worth noting so far make better use of his doctrine than Caosak has of assault support. It certainly is possible that here Caosak made a misclick, didn't actually intend to go for assault support. He actually wanted to go for something else. Hard to say here since his doctoral choice is just so late though. Caosak is actually soon within range of a third Panther 4, meanwhile, Expense Runner's almost got... Well, he's got the fuel for another T-54, though manpower-wise, he's definitely a bit further off. They're roughly a minute. Pack 40 here for Caosak. 8 pounds up, Economic 40. I'm not entirely sure of that. It's the relevant choice again. I think like a mortar would be much more useful versus Expense Run. In particular, it's going to keep focus on the center here for Caosak. It would make it much harder for Expense Run to just like maintain such a strong point. Of course, it could be he's just hoping to like rely on the air abilities to use it, but again, he's just not using the blitz to then get the munitions for it. So I'm not entirely sure again like what Caosak is exactly planning here. I mean, there's clearly a plan somewhere, but the execution seems to have hit a few dead ends. Keep focus on the Snowball's got it. There we go. Wipes out the Snowball. Great kill for Expense Runner. Another slap across the face of Caosak. And the 11th SS. We've seen the about to get wiped out with the Panther Force pursuing. Great hit from the T-54 from the Panther 4, punching straight through the frontal armor. Half 8 to 52 there. Almost got it. There we go. Blitz coming out of there. Second Panther 4 gets it. And he's actually charging forwards instead. Probably thinking he's not going to make it. It didn't, but didn't get to fire a shot. Situation for Caosak is now rapidly deteriorating. Like he's just kind of stuck in a spot there with just Expense Runner's just blasting it to bits there because he's lacking, you know, the force composition and the resource to really like do much about it. Machine gun coming up there. Gonna need some mounts as well here. Need to fix up the Panzerkampfwagen 4. Got the guards airborne here, very close to the ace level actually. Pretty good there for Expense Runner. Troops suppressed, gun is being vorwärts. Fixing up the Panzerkampfwagen 4. And the center there, Grafkin against the machine gun there. Minor kill there on the gunner. We got 302 or something. I mean, Caosak still has a good victory point over Expense Runner, but that's really all he's got going at the moment. Force-wise, Expense Runner is just starting to really snowball here against Caosak, and Caosak is just, you know, kind of playing into it a bit, I feel. Bring it off. Is he planning to fall here in a Tiger tank? That'd be fairly ambitious. Almost got the guards airborne though. More engineers there for Expense Runner. And he does get the guards airborne. Last man there dead. And a panic crawling back towards them. What did you say about my mother, you fascist? Oh, God, my spleen. Oh, I actually think that's my liver. There's Panther dealing with the countries there. Taking up sandbags in the east. In the west, we've got the point they're being seized. So he's slowly pushing back here. Very slowly. It's coming in a fairly high cost here for Caosak. This Panzer 4, though, has managed to reach 32, getting the shots in there. Conferring a armor bonus as the Panther 4. T-54 on the move there. Ground lost in victory point. Sandbags up there from Expense Runner. Thumbs up. And he's being shot at there. I mean, in terms of like pure resources, roughly a minute away from the target tank. Of course, still need to take up first before we can go for that. So I'm not entirely sure that is Caosak's planning. It certainly would be fairly ambitious. Though he's not going for any additional medium armor at the moment, so it's not. Yeah, he's actually going for it. He is going for tier 4 here. Caosak is now pretty much tying all of his hopes here to the Tiger tank. Now the T-54 meanwhile Expense Runner is just churning up more T-54s and 6s because they're really cost efficient. Get it on the Panther from the Sister Fleet additional field, which gains ace level in the same breath there. We do have, oh, finally we do get some air support here. Finally get one usage of the Dark here from Caosak. He's strafing around here. Do bad, it coincides with an arm assault here from Expense Runner. Calling in a rocket strike here as well against the Panther 4. Pack 4 turning around there. Rockets there. Narrowly missing the Panther 4, but the pack crew gets examined with the T-54 from 6 here. Air support's flying away there. But they can't see the targets. They can't actually hit them. Pack destroyed. Another slap across the face of Caosak and the German army. T-54 shoots, bounces off the Panther 4's frontal armor there at max range. There we go. Troops being suppressed, pinned down. Panther 4 that takes hits from the field and the T-54 6 almost being wiped out there. In fact, needs to get knocked out there in the end. Very close to the Tiger tank by now, but the situation is just completely falling apart for Caosak. And honestly, I think trying to stop the Tiger tank here was Well, not the correct call, unfortunately for him, but great for expensive runner. More troops being pinned down, suppressed, and there you go, Caosak surrenders. A loss here for the German army, a victory for the Red army. A nasty duel here on glorious Langraskaya. Caosak definitely had to sort of around the mid game, but I feel like he kind of fumbled there with his unit composition. The snipers, I think, were a bit of a questionable choice there, but also just the lack of panic grenades and a mortar, I think, really hurt Caosak. Additionally, he kept leaving his flank exposed with like nothing to, you know, cover that off, which I think also benefited Expense Runner quite significantly. But again, the lack of mortars, panic grenades, just churning out more grenadiers when he probably needed something that could actually push the fight more in his favour aggressively, and just the late doctrinal choice, and then fairly weak usage of the doctrinal, I think, but also like other elements that really contributed to Caosak's loss. As for Expense Runner, I mean, you know, solid player there, good usage of the doctrine, would like to see the Guards Airborne to be upgraded a bit, but you know, he played well, played to the strength of the Soviets. Could have benefited from mortar as well, but that's about it. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. I learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it, tell friends, tell family. But don't tell enemies, and of course, do consider donating or supporting the Propagandacast. Links in the description to PayPal or Patreon. This is Imperial Links. Cheers, and see you all tomorrow for a mouse episode. Bye.